Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
All right, this is for all guys navigating the single life, the dating world. It's got its challenges, but not when you have her, because she will help you find your true connection. She's got insight like you've never heard before, just a different perspective, not only just from a woman's point of view, but just in general about dating. And today we're going to deal with a big one. And this is
Yeah.
this is the kids. When you've got kids, she's got kids, one of you have kids, incorporating that, figuring it all out. Tamara from True Connection is back with us. Tamara, welcome. How you doing?
Hi, great. Oh, this is such a sticky, tricky topic. So excited to help the listeners out today with this one.
Really, really is challenging. There's so many questions when it comes to kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, my mind when I talk about this, I'm on a Facebook social group for singles in my area, and something even recently came up, which we'll get to in a second. But when it comes to kids, how do you know when it's okay to introduce the person you're dating to them?
Well, it depends a lot on their age, but the primary differentiator here is where are you at in the relationship? Because if you're not committed, don't do it. So let's say your children are older though, and you've been dating a while, but you don't quite know how serious you are. You just pop in and say, hey, great to meet you. You wave, and then you both go off to the date. So that's one way to break it in easier with, older kids, high school kids are older. You just say hi, literally, and then you leave like within 5 minutes or so, just so they can put a face to the name. And then and it's just an easier way to break it in. You just don't go camping. That's not a good way. That's not a good way to introduce someone, or even, teenagers need to feel like they can just come in and go out of the conversation or not out of the room. So even something like a road trip or a 4-hour kayaking trip, they're just going to feel, confined, and they just really need to have that open conversation and freedom in that setting. So my favorite way is the quick hi and wave. And then once you know you're serious and you're, considering marriage, then you get into, okay, let's spend time together. Let's spend quality time. Then you go to ice cream, and then maybe you make dinner together. And then maybe, it's just more of a gradual buildup, so they can just they'll feel less resistance and more open to if you do it gradually.
I have anxiety. I don't get anxiety. You said two words that were whoa.
It was marriage. Yeah.
Considering marriage. So what if you're seriously dating, but you want to incorporate or be incorporated in the person you're dating's life, which includes the kids? How do you take that next step? We're not, the dating thing is way over here, or actually way out there at this time. Let's just say.
So you just take that lighthearted, gradual approach, like I mentioned, because little kids are going to get attached to you, I mean, really, really fast. And then the teenagers are going to be highly resistant. Doesn't matter. Yeah, you're Santa. They are still going to not like you, just for the principle of it. And so to break it in gradually and sort of have you around, but sort of not, is just, a way to do it. I think the biggest challenge comes in when someone has 100% custody, because their mindset isn't as open to, it's okay for me to take time for myself, get a sitter, just not be home, share sitting with another family. I just find that the 100% custody folks are the ones that feel the most guilty about leaving the house, whereas those of us that have had more like 50, 60, 40 are accustomed to not having our kids around. And so we already know we have time, because you have time in your calendar to date. So I think it's just that's just another thing that you've got to contend with, is how much actual, open time do they have?
You're so on point. And this is why you do what you do, because I dealt with that. And I was dating somebody up until, few or so months ago. Not, serious or anything like that. She has a 7 and 10-year-old. And I remember when I started coming by the house, just hanging out a little bit, especially the 7-year-old, like all over me. Like, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm feeling, and
Yeah.
100% custody, by the
Yeah.
way. And I'm feeling like daddy replacement. And it was
Yep.
like so uncomfortable because
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going with
Yeah.
this relationship
Right.
wise. Um, yeah. And
Mm-hmm.
I had to end it. I had to end it because it
Yeah.
was too much. And plus,
Yeah.
she was completely focused on the kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. She should be,
Mm-hmm.
but
Yeah.
almost to the way over the way over the line, I believe. Like it's
Right.
way too much.
Right.
And I even said
Yeah.
to her, like, you're one day I said, you're a wonderful mom, you're fantastic, but you need a little you time. And she,
Yeah.
one day a week we get
Yeah.
together, she get a babysitter, we hang out, it's all good. But she'll like two activities for this one this day, one activity for that one that way, blah, 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 dropping them off, dropping them, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, don't you feel like stressed out? Like I would say to her,
Right.
so, no, it's
Right.
okay. My kids are happy. They need to be socialized in activities. I'm like, yes, I agree. But I would, if it were me, I would pull one of
Right.
those activities back. It was just too much. But I feel also somebody like that in that situation um, feels that they need to be both parents, so they're over extending.
Overcompensating.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
it even I'll just share one other thing that was just challenging. We'd be on a phone call. The little one would interrupt, and I really think the little one was her favorite. Would interrupt like every 5 seconds, and instead of saying, Jimmy, hold on, I'll be there in a few minutes. Mommy's on the phone. Give me 10 minutes and I'm
Yeah.
going to be right there with you. No, she'd be like, hold on. Oh, Jimmy, so what do you want to do? But I'm like,
Oh,
okay. It was
right.
just too much. Um,
Right.
but yeah, it's so I'm seeing both sides based on
Mhm.
what you're saying here, like totally on
Right.
point.
Well, and I think in that case, the reason what fundamentally frustrated you was that she didn't have boundaries, self-care, because of course you're going to be a better parent if you're taking care of yourself. You're getting enough sleep, right? You're watching out for what you eat, what you are, how you're managing your time, your calendar. I mean, there's so much that goes into having to fill your own cup, especially when you are a single parent, so that you
Hmm.
can be a good parent. And it's so hard when you're in it, you don't even realize you're doing it until
That's what I'm
someone
saying.
else points it out. And then you realize you're drowning or you have a breakdown and now you can't work and you're a single. I mean, so you just really have got to take
Yep.
those steps. And really from when you look at the psychology of children, they need to learn manners, boundaries. Mommy's a person. Mommy has interests, friends. Mommy's going to work out. Mommy's going to, go out and do work in the yard. Mommy's going to set a timer. When the timer goes off, that's when you can come in and ask me a question. Like there's just so many little tricks that you can put in place, but
Yep.
it's just hard as a single parent to remember to take care of yourself too, which means finding love too, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
You're amazing.
yeah,
You're
yeah.
describing this whole situation. And even the conversation, I even had it with her a couple of weeks ago, barely. And it was, I can't believe this is my life. I wanted to find love. And I
Hmm.
tried to tell her that. And she was like, I
Yeah,
feel tired. I'm just like run down. I'm
yeah,
like, well, because you're not totally
yeah,
happy and you're doing too much. You need more
yeah,
you time. Um,
yeah.
then I get into, deeply about, our relationship, why it's, but I tried to be nice in terms of trying to help her
Hmm.
in that regard. But
Yeah,
that's where
right,
it went in the, not the
right,
continued dating direction because of
right.
that. Um, but yeah,
But
it's
children
tough.
really, this is a huge opportunity. Dating while you're parenting is a huge opportunity to teach your children about how to have a balanced life when they grow up because
Yeah.
they only know what they're learning. And your subconscious is really built by the time you're 7. And so
Yeah.
you really want to teach the self-care, the discipline manners, uh, just how to be kind and make room for what's important in your life and what priorities are. So, are
Yeah.
you really doing your children a service by teaching them that they are the world, the universe, and nothing matters but them?
Hmm.
Imagine
Yeah.
that in a 16-year-old body. That's a nightmare. Or a
Yeah.
25-year-old body, a 35-year-old body. I mean, we need to consider other people's feelings. And so there's just a lot to consider. Uh, when you're parenting and the choices that you make. So, and it's really hard. It's a balancing act for sure. And like I said,
Totally.
if you don't have 100% custody, you have time in your schedule to date. So use it. Use it wisely. Don't
Oh,
spend all your off nights grocery shopping, cleaning. Do that right in front of your kids. Take them to the store. Have them do chores too. Have them see how much it takes to run a household, and quality time, because you want to play games and have fun and tell
you have
stories
to.
and make forts and go to their games. And yeah.
So let's go back to the dating with kids in that, let's say you met the kids and I'm
Mhm.
on board with your, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And you're out. Uh, let's say a couple of times, maybe you're hanging at their house and let's say they're older, they're upstairs hanging out doing their thing. Maybe they
Mhm.
pop in, maybe you're watching TV with the person you're dating, whatever it might be. Um, how do you get to the point where you do something with them as well, or you're really more part of
Mhm.
their life?
Just start off with something small, like going to a game, going out for ice cream, or getting like taco supplies and coming home and cooking together. So it's just not full on. Teenagers really have a hard time with forced family time.
Oh
So
yeah. Oh,
I got
definitely.
teenagers too. They're like, okay. So I prepare them. Like I'll say the day before, we're celebrating this day. This is what it's going to look like. So they can psychologically prepare that we are going to hang together.
Yep. Yep. I do the same
Yeah.
thing. And like the
Yeah.
visual. What's that going to look like? What's that going to feel like? All of that. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
even go to a business meeting, unless I've done it in my mind. I'm already
Yeah.
there. I've already
Yeah.
seen it in my mind. Who's going to be there? What are they wearing? What should I wear? What should we talk about? Uh,
Yeah.
am I going to eat
Yeah.
beforehand? It helps you so much, kind of.
Hmm.
And of course, there's going to be surprises, but at least you're less
Yeah.
surprised. Okay.
And you can
Yeah.
relax into it and really enjoy the moment, however the experience plays out.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So just make it gradual. Little kids are up for anything. I mean, they will go anywhere you want, do anything you want. And that's just why you have to use more caution, because they will get so attached so quickly. But I think
Yeah.
another thing that people really wonder a lot about is, when do I lie? And when do I stop lying if I've been lying about dating, not dating? Because you're afraid to tell them, you're afraid of their reaction, or maybe if you do have older children, they've just told you, or they've had a previous negative reaction to you dating, and then you don't know how to move on.
Mm.
Yeah. How do you move forward once you find someone? What do you say? Yeah.
It's and if they're even if they're younger, I was going to say if they're older, teenagers, whatever, regardless, they know. They've already got it. They got a
Yeah.
pretty good idea. They figured it out.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, when you're saying this woman's just a friend, but you're grabbing her behind and giving her a kiss and snuggled up on the couch, I mean, now you're really confusing the children about what a friend means. And then they go to school. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Boy.
we can't have that.
But just a
Yeah.
friend. Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
you can't be, yeah. So
that's a good point. Hmm.
I think I would just say, as a generalization, and I know there's a lot of unique situations out there, but don't lie about it, because you will get caught. They will figure it out. And it takes so much longer with a teenager to rebuild that trust. Just
Mm-hmm.
tell them the truth and ask them how they feel. What are they afraid of? What concerns do you have? This is how it's affecting our life right now, this much, but it might be this much. I just don't know. But let's just walk through the process together and be open and honest, and let them just breathe and share and be transparent, respectfully as you can get them to be, but really so you have that open dialogue about it, so you can share. We're going to theater, we're going to live music, we're going to be gone this weekend, sightseeing, or and just so you can be honest with your children about where you are and who you're at. And the last thing you want to do is come home and say, oh, we're moving in together, oh, we're engaged, and they're like, what? I didn't even know you liked someone, or I didn't know how serious you were, I didn't know where you guys were at. I mean, you can maintain your family integrity, and it's okay that they disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. They disagree with us about loads of other things. This can be no different. That's okay.
Sure. And
Yeah.
I think it's also important, especially if it's a teenager, to think what they're thinking. Because
Mhm.
my situation fairly fresh, and I introduced somebody to my daughter who lives with me, and it went well. It was very, low key. And we actually all got in the car and went to like Walgreens to pick up makeup for my daughter, and it was cool. But I was like tapping the brakes on all of it.
Mhm.
Maybe one interaction in like 2 weeks, and one day my daughter turned around to me and she said, you know, I really like her. She's pretty. You should date her. I was like, yeah. Yeah.
Aw.
And meanwhile, I was, but I was like, yeah, let me think about that. Yeah. And then it was a little more frequency. Then it was, more. I've just referred to her more often. Um, but my main objective in all of it, when I say think of what they're thinking, is I
Mhm.
didn't want my daughter to think there was anybody replacing her and me
Right.
and our time to, anything like
Right.
that. So that's always like everything was kind of calculated, careful
Mhm.
until it felt okay. So
Right.
yeah, I think, yeah, air of
Right.
caution and think what they're thinking. Right.
Right. Absolutely. Because you don't have to choose. I hear people say that a lot. Like they'll put it right in their dating profile. My children will always be number one.
Well, duh.
Okay. No one wants to date that guy. I mean, just because, I mean, if you're a good father, of course that's true, but you are telling me flat out, I will never be number one. Okay. What are you modeling for your children? A, and B, what are you
Hmm.
attracting then? Right? That's
Hmm.
not going to get you a partnership or a long-term something. You are flat
Interesting.
out saying, I don't know how to set boundaries because you don't have to choose. You're on a date and you have to drive your child to the emergency room. No one's feelings are going to be hurt. This is what we're doing, right? You just roll with life and see how it goes. But if your child just throws a tantrum before your date so you don't go, the priority in that moment is your child. And the lesson there is I'm the boss. I understand how you're feeling. Let's talk about that. And you and I will sort through this when I get home. I
Hmm.
love you and I'll see you later.
Yeah.
You don't
It
get to manipulate your parents' time like that. Otherwise, you are teaching them very dangerous patterns that will not succeed anywhere else in life.
It is, it's interesting you say that because I always, even the person I was mentioning that had kids, of course, the kids are, the priority, but you
Mhm.
bring it in a different view where the person you're dating can be number one at that moment.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then kids are going to be number one in a different moment. Of course, they'll always be your
Yeah.
kids. Of course, they're above this in terms of
Mhm.
anybody that comes into your life. But there's
Yeah.
priorities and attention, and that's when I think number one. So I never thought of that
Right.
as a red flag. My kids will always be blah, blah, like interesting.
Yeah.
It's something
Well, it just
things you need
depends
to
what you're
see.
looking for. Because if you're casually dating, I mean, that would just slide right off. You wouldn't even see that as a red flag. But if you're looking for long-term potential with someone, that's just really unstable, dangerous ground that makes you think like, is he going to keep our dates? Are we going to keep our plans? What could happen that makes us stable and have a really steady foundation? And truth is, you don't have to pick. You just don't. Your
Mm.
children and your new partner can be your priority. And of course, the closer you get and the further you progress, the higher they move up
Oh,
in
for
order
sure.
of, because then you're a team. You're like, we can do this. We'll fix this. We'll go to the emergency room together. We'll go to the game together. We'll,
Right.
have family plans. I mean, it all just starts to come together in a different way, but you want the door open for that longevity to come into the picture. You don't want to shut that door so quickly. So,
And there is I think a bit of a challenge for many waiting for the door to swing open. So let's say you're
mhm,
you're with somebody, time has gone on, maybe you met the kids a little bit, did the hi and goodbye. Um, at what point do you become incorporated into more? And I think that's
mhm,
my view of things, pinnacle. That's where
mhm.
we cross the bridge into the
Yeah,
various serious
yes.
side here. Um,
Hmm.
and sometimes it can take time, and you got to be
Right.
patient with it. I think like as you're dating with somebody, you kind of
Hmm.
figure it out like, Yeah. All right. She canceled again. You know, the kids are always a priority, which is
Mhm.
fine, but then she's not leaving, like we said before, self-care time open for yourself to do things.
Right. Well, and that's why there's conscious dating that leads into conscious relationships because you'll catch it then. If there are red flags and things not going well, you'll catch it. And then the children aren't going to get hurt. And you aren't going to get as hurt. She isn't going to get as hurt because you'll realize in a timely fashion, instead of letting a
Mm,
year or two or three go by, that you're not going to make it. And then you're not putting all these other elements, including children, in jeopardy.
right. Right.
You'll end it when it's supposed to be over, as opposed to, oh, but I'm so connected. Oh, we've spent all this time. Those are not good reasons to stay together. Unless you're
Yeah.
married, then we're all about that. But we're talking about dating.
Yeah. Yeah. What about introducing your kids to their kids?
I know. Well, that now you're making a family. So if you want to just do something silly like, hey, you want to go get ice cream with, Sam and, her kids? Yeah, that's no big deal. But once you start spending time together where they connect and they're like connecting over interests or life or video games or cheer or whatever their sports are, music, then you're creating connections that are so, I mean, then you are going to be heartbroken if it ends. You are,
Mm,
all of you are, all of you. So just be mindful. So you need to sit down, go through the conscious dating exercises and relationship exercises before you cross that bridge. And you need to fact check with the other person. You've been saying you want to marry me for 9 months now. Where are we really at with that? Because there's romantic fairyland conversation, and then there's what does this actually mean? What does this translate into in a timeline? What do we look like 5 years from now? And those are scary conversations to have, but we're talking about children's emotions and stability and family, and you've got to have the conversations. Yeah.
mm.
I don't care if it bursts your romantic bubble for, 2 days. You can get it back.
Why are you wasting time? If
Yeah,
you
just
and you
talk
know,
it out. I mean, otherwise years go by. You
and you
believe
got
what people say, and they might mean it when they say it, but they actually haven't thought it through what that actually means. To me, you don't say you want to marry someone until if the preacher was standing right there, you would say the vows. You would say something more like, I want to marry you someday. I can see us getting married in the future. I can see my future with you. And you add those little time elements in there so nobody's getting confused, like, oh, we're getting engaged in,
Mhm.
3 months within the next few months or whatever. And then you're like, I never said that. Well, now we're down to semantics. So yeah, just be
Yeah, sometimes it's
careful.
also fun just to joke around about it and see where it goes and see how it
Right.
feels. Like the
Mm-hmm.
person I'm with now, we're dating,
Right.
serious, but we've already talked about it jokingly.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you think your parents would be okay dancing, first dance to Def Leppard Hysteria? Because we both like Def Leppard.
Right.
We joke about stuff like that. But I will tell you, it's funny. We had 2 episodes back where you're talking about when you meet uh somebody for the first time and you do the car thing, like, okay, I got it.
Yeah.
You psych yourself up. I did that when I was meeting her kids. I did the
Okay.
same exact exercise. Like, all right, we got this. How's this gonna go? Let me figure this all out.
Yes.
And I felt like that was the
Yes.
same situation, but just a little bit different. But just to be so
Yes.
you're on point, because the
Mm-hmm.
energy that you're giving off, and we talked about masculine,
Yes.
feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that first meeting of the kids is just as important as the first
Mm-hmm.
meeting with the person.
Right. Oh, kids know lightning fast. If you're distracted, you're somewhere else, you're nervous, you're not confident in what you're even doing there. Yeah. So
Yeah.
you want to be centered and present before you enter their space and you are feeling like you, right? They're going to like you if you're in your own present space so that you can feel like you can show them who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Kids are
you're
super perceptive.
and you're the outsider. So that can be uncomfortable
Yeah.
too.
Right.
I think it's even harder meeting the kids than it is on the first date. I really
Oh,
do.
I completely agree.
Ah,
Yes. Yeah. Super stressful.
why didn't I think of calling you before I met the kids? Like you would have been my coach, like the pep talk before going in, onto the field on the big game. But
I
this is what you
know.
do, and you focus on
Yes.
guys, helping guys. Best way to find you, Tamara?
Yeah. So let's see, trueconnection.coach, COACH, or Instagram, Tamara, True Connection. Yeah, I would love to help you find your somebody special and navigate all these intricacies that can really trip you up as you
Yeah,
progress.
the kid thing
Yeah.
almost tripped me up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And that's why you're great at that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
In terms of giving the insight,
Thank you.
things, you're the pep talk. Like you are the coach. Like literally before the big game, you are the pep talk as the
Yes.
coach, to the I was gonna say to the
Yeah.
player, but that's not the word I should be using
Well, or
here.
try this play. Don't, make sure you, yeah. This is how
Just-
this needs to roll out. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
It's always great talking
Yeah.
with you.
Thanks, Steve. See you next
Thank you.
time.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.